All right. Good morning. What's up, Gus? Peter, good morning. So we have a lot of gappers, previous gappers that we've traded this year popping up again today. Noticed. But nothing that's really taken center stage yet. Nothing that's making a huge move, at least yet. We did have Wheeler yesterday, kind of late morning, nice run up here. And then overnight, we had a little bit of an overnight gap here from 14 up to 22, pulling back, but still kind of holding its previous kind of consolidation, which is good. You could see a day two on Wheeler. It's possible. This one's much more expensive. Spreads are much wider. Definitely something to keep in mind. But it looks like we're coming in on that downward resistance. A downward trend. So it's questionable whether or not we're going to have a day two. Volume is really light here pre-market. What's up, Al B? Good morning. KK, good morning. Cristobal, Wheeler price above 10, I stay away. There's opportunity. It's opportunity above $10 for sure. Stocks above $10. You kind of have to treat it the same way. I know the fills are kind of wacky, but regardless of the fill, if it's a wider spread stock, yeah, you may be taking a little bit more risk coming in, but with a wider spread stock, the price in your favor can move just as much in your favor as it can against you. So, it kind of does even out because the range is much wider. So as long as the pattern's holding up, I don't really have to worry too much about the fill as long as the pattern kind of holds up. And if you're holding for an A+ setup and the pattern works in your favor, the reward will offset the bad fill. Just got to practice though. But yeah, it can be daunting, these wider spread stocks. Good morning, JB, Alejandro. Good morning. So leading gapper, I guess we'll start with the leading gapper. ELAB, penny stock, 14 cents. Just so cheap, man. So cheap. This is the leading gapper. The next leading gapper is only up 50%. So this one's up 74%. Looks like ELAB units seek patents for lead drug candidate to treat muscle loss in obese patients. So they seek a patent for lead drug candidate. So they just filed a patent application. That's it. They filed patent applications. I don't think that's all that great. Anyone can just put in a patent application. But it's another thing if the patent actually gets granted. If in a few weeks or a few months we get a news catalyst in ELAB, I think it takes a long time for the patent applications to go through. I think maybe years, maybe months or years, something like that. I think it's a very long time. I studied this in college, I forget, the whole patent laws and stuff. But yeah, maybe in a few months we'll have news that comes out on this thing that says, oh, patent granted. This company was granted their successful patent application for their drug. Then, this thing is going probably 100, 200, 300 or more percent. But, just for a patent application, anyone can send in a patent application. So I'm not really too fond of this. It's also really cheap. It could go up a little more. Doesn't mean it can't go up. But the catalyst driven behind this move isn't all that great, in my opinion. 37 million shares float. 37 million share float. Good morning, James. Welcome in. 37 million share float. So I mean, float's good for the price range, for the price to stock, but I don't like the catalyst, and it's really cheap. So maybe we don't trade this one today. CETX. Let's take a look at CETX. I think it's a reverse split. Reverse split setup. So I'm not sure. It doesn't say in the catalyst what the reverse split was. What the ratio of price to shares was. Was it maybe 10 to 1? Maybe looks like it was priced at what, 10 cents? Not 9 cents. So fuck, that could be like 45 to 1. It's like a 45 to 1. So I wonder what the float is on this thing. It's around a 45 to 1 reverse split. The float is 290,000 shares. 290,000. This is nothing. The company's worth 800,000. Less than $1 million. That's insane. This is the lowest float I've ever seen. I think I've ever seen. So maybe this just moves on that. You know, a 230K float. That is so small, dude. One person. Like if you have $1 million, you can buy this company right now. Buy all the shares on the market. Just straight up buy the company. You can sit on the board of directors for less than $1 million. You can call the company shots. If you get to prove the company will get bought back by the major farmer companies. Skull, what's up? Yaguari, good morning, Cristobal. Odds of HD going explosive. HKD, when it went explosive, the float was like 500K or less. But, you know, now it's sitting at 28 million shares. So it's different. It's a different stock. It's not going to act the same way when we saw last year. For those of you who are some of you who are new to trading, you know, this stock, we witnessed this stock over the course of 3 days go from $1 a share to 2,555. This is real. This isn't adjusted for a reverse split. We actually watched this tick by tick go from $1 to 2,555. But the volume was so light on it. Like, it was hardly tradable. It was skipping hundreds of dollars without any price action between, you know, by the penny. It wasn't any really price action. It was just kind of just like gapping. Each candle was like gapping $100. So really hard to trade. No really way to kind of guess that this thing would go to 2,500. Since then, all the way back down here, bunch of offerings, liquidating, dilution. Really just now accumulating a lot of shares here on the market, 28 million. Now it's got 28 million shares on the market. Previously, it was less than $1 million. So this is a different stock. This is not the HKD that we traded last year. So I don't expect this thing is going to go like that. Maybe we move. It's kind of 28 million share float. It's kind of high for a $5 stock. I don't really think this is going to go much. Maybe we see a breakout over 6. I'd be very surprised, but it's possible. You know, we're bouncing pretty strongly here off the low at 415 up to 5. So not too far off the highs. Pretty decent bounce. Maybe we see a small breakout. But I don't think this is going to 10, 15, 20, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. This is not that stock anymore, unfortunately. But CETX does have 230K float. Traders see 230K float. It doesn't matter if there's news on it. There's 230K float. That is the news. This thing could rip. It has the potential. Doesn't mean it's going to rip, but it's worth to keep it on watch. And I think traders are definitely going to be watching this. It's very rare we have, I don't think I've seen a 230K float since HKD. So, maybe this thing does something absolutely crazy. I assume, so the halt levels, I assume the halt levels are going to be adjusted since it's a reverse split. Because we did close technically yesterday under 75 cents. So I wonder if the halt levels are going to be 15 cents or if it's actually adjusted for above 75 cent halt level rules. I'm actually not quite sure about that. Hope so. So it looks like CETX has no margin. So maybe CETX is no margin. I got to check with that. Let me check that. Skull says market's looking rough today. Yeah, it was looking rough yesterday until Wheeler popped up. Unfortunately, I was pretty much wrapped up by then. I didn't trade it. Let me check. I'm checking the margin requirements. So CETX, it's not marginable. So that sucks. ELAB, marginable, it's good. TOVX, good. PEGI, you can look at PEGI. I know the market's rough. I've seen ZVCZT on the scanner a couple times this week and last week. That's how you know the market's slow. TOVX. So TOVX, we've traded this before. TOVX 2.7 million share float. Very nice low float, so that's good. That's good. Looks like we have news. Announces outcome of data and safety monitoring committee review in phase 1B/2A clinical trial of a drug for allogenic hematopoietic cell transplant recipients. So positive outcome on data in a phase 1B/2A trial. So it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. You could see something on this. TOVX. This popped up maybe a couple months ago. Yeah, I think we traded this right around in here. I mean, it made a decent move, but gave it right back. So maybe we curl up again. We have a level here. Din Din. Welcome to the community. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So we do have a little bit of a support, which could act as resistance right there, around 230. We have some topping tails here. So if we break out of 2, maybe we have some room up to 230, and then maybe reclaiming this topping tail. But we might have some resistance here because we had some previous supports, which now may act as resistance right around 3. So I think I'll just leave those lines there. I'd be surprised if we get over 3. Be surprised if we get over 2. How this market's going. It's only up 45%. So that's TOVX. PEGY. PEGY penny stock. We've traded this one before though. So it looks like this has faded since the last time we traded it. I don't remember it being a penny stock. We don't want to have any news on it. Pineapple Energy. Yeah, so we've traded this before from $1 all the way up to $6. That's crazy. Crazy move. been fading so hard since this is only 5 months ago. 5 months ago, this was trading at $6. 5 months later, we're down here at 16 cents. No reverse splits. This is just straight price action. This is straight bulls just getting obliterated. So I bet there's a lot of bags on this thing. A lot of bag holders. What's the float on this thing? PEGY. And it's got a 15 million share float. Forget about it, man. This thing ain't going back to $3. This ain't going back to $1. I doubt. This is gonna have to do a reverse split to minimize, to make the float, you know, a million, 2 million, and then maybe we'll have the chance to squeeze, and maybe the bags can get out on the next short squeeze. But anyone who's caught on PEGY with a 15 million share float after probably a bunch of offerings is now, you know, stuck down here, sub 50 cents, lots of overhead resistance, lots of bags, companies doing dilution. It's not looking good for sure. So what do we got? CETX, yeah, not marginal. TOVX, need to break pre-market high. Yep. Gus, was that electric company out of Hawaii from natural disaster? Yeah, Pineapple Energy, I assume. Let's see here. PEGY is focused on growing leading local and regional solar. Yeah, so it looks like they're part of Hawaii Energy Connection, Horizon Solar Power. So yeah, that definitely probably has something to do with it. This is probably, I think this is when the right around in February. There's the Hawaiian fires. Then looks like we had a little bit of bounce. Then company diluting, raising money, diluting their shares. Sync V, hey, so many familiar faces. Nice, nice. Yeah, so I think, in my opinion, TOVX looks the best, at least for a recent gap, or like for a fresh gapper. Consolidating near highs, only about maybe 20 cents here off the high. We do have news. It is a low float, so it does tick all of our boxes. We do have a little bit of room here, up to about 3, I'd say, potentially. And if it's really strong, we can start to reclaim 4 and 5, maybe up to 7 if it's really strong. But, you know, if this thing can just bounce up to 3, I think that can give us plenty of opportunity on this one. But pre-market charts, I mean, it has good volume, but it's only up 47%. It's not showing like super strength, but I guess it does have potential. Our leading gapper, ELAB, I didn't like. Too cheap. And I don't think, yeah, the catalyst was just seeking a patent, to just file the patent application, which I don't think is very strong. Skull says lots of topping tails. Yeah, so finding some resistance there. Maybe we pull back a little bit. Sync V just subscribed. Welcome to the community. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So yeah, maybe we see a pullback here slightly, and if we start to reclaim and close above these candles, we start to close where price previously couldn't close. That's bullish. Maybe we can see a squeeze if the shorts were piling in on these topping tails. Maybe we can see a squeeze through too. So, you know, when you do see topping tails, you know, it's definitely a sign of resistance, but it could be a sign that if we eventually do close above those levels, shorts are going to be trapped. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. XXTP. Let's take a look. As you guys are tuning into your own trading, make sure you drop that like on the way out. We got about 5 minutes. XXTP. I don't see any volume here. It doesn't even look tradable barely here. So I don't think, I mean, we do have news on it. 60 Degrees Pharmaceutical Trading Cards Company announced commenced a 9-month arc of promotional pilots. So it does have news, but there's no volume. So can't really trade it if there's no volume. So yeah, maybe it does get volume at some point, but I'm not going to be watching that one at the open. So TOVX, I like the best. TOVX, I like the best. HKD, I didn't like because there's a larger float. So kind of curling up here off the low already, TOVX. Got a 1-cent spread. It's time to get green. Let's actually have a green day today. Feeling hopeful for a nice green day. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. But we always stay positive. We never give up. We always show up the next day. Fresh head, fresh mind. ELAB also kind of curling up here. This thing is going to have to really make a huge leg if it wants to capture my attention. TOVX kind of looking juiciest, which ain't even that juicy, honestly. It's not even that juicy. The market ain't even that good right now. It's definitely not that good. So maybe I stay more patient than aggressive right now. I could trade kind of small. I'll trade smaller size here coming into the open until I see something that's really starting to get aggressive. Like if I see something like Wheeler again, then yeah, then I'm definitely I gotta go for it because Wheeler definitely looked like it gave some good action. So maybe we see something similar like that, kind of late morning action. Wheeler kind of perking up a little bit, lighter volume. MLGO, let's take a look. MLGO, micro algo, another penny stock. No news. I don't see any news. I don't know. I'm just going to be patient, remain open. I'm going to remain open to the market, let the opportunities present itself to me, and then I can make a decision. But I have no idea what's about to happen. Yeah, Wheeler. I'll keep Wheeler on the side chart. All right. Good luck, guys. Stay calm, cool, and collected. Stay disciplined. I'll catch you guys.